everything in the universe is governed by the law of rhythm. And today I'm going to show you how the law of rhythm affects your life, how it affects every area of your life, and how you can change your life using the law of rhythm. So if you don't know who I am, my name's Ivor Churchill. I've spent the last 10 years really figuring out how my mind works, how I can improve my life with my mind. And I help you and other people do the same thing. And so that's what I do. So let's get into the video. So the law of rhythm is super powerful. Because once you understand it, and once I understood it, I saw the pattern to my whole existence, my whole life. And you will see that as well if you understand it. So what I mean by that is, well, the law of rhythm is a universal law. All the universal laws I'm covering in this video series are from Hermeticism, and they really are an amazing list of rules or laws that govern everything. You can see them everywhere. And what I mean by you can see them everywhere is the law of rhythm, even though it's a very ancient law, we now can see it everywhere you could see like frequencies. Sound frequencies is like a wave. So it just means like everything has a rhythm. Everything has a high and a low, and we see this in so many ways, right? Like, for example, temperature. The temperature goes up in the day and then it goes down at night. The winter and the summer, the temperature goes up and then down. We've got waves in the ocean, all the different kinds of waves, radio waves, all the waves you can think of in the world follow the same pattern. And what's interesting is this also applies to our own life. So what that means is when you are, in society we have this idea that life is just like a roller coaster. Life is up and down. Life is crazy. It's unpredictable. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down. And, that's just the way people think of the world. They think it's random and you can't predict these things. But the law of rhythm really helps you predict it, because it is very simple. Like every area of your life, you have this effect. And if you are not conscious of it, you will have this high and low effect. So it applies to everything: money, cleanliness, how hard you work in your job, your mental health, all the areas of your life, your diet. So what really happens is, and I can illustrate it like this, it's actually connected to the law of cause and effect. So as you, let's say, for example, a simple one is like making more money and doing well in your job. So when you get down to this level, which is like the lowest level that you can stand, it's like you have a thermostat or a regulator for your life. So when you get down to this level, your mind kicks in and says, this is bad. This is really bad. We need to make changes. So what you do is you start to behave, you start to think and behave well. So you take positive causes. Don't know if you can see that. Maybe I need to use the other pen. So you take positive causes and you take action. So you're taking positive causes, which means your momentum goes up, because positive causes lead to positive effects. And then eventually you get up here. And this is your high thermostat point. This is where you feel pretty good. You feel pretty comfortable. So when you get here, because you now feel good, you now feel no pressure to behave a certain way, you start changing the way you think, and you start changing your emotions and your actions. So you'll start thinking, well, I don't need to work so hard at work, or I don't need to make so many sales calls, or be so focused on my business. I can do some other stuff. And you start taking negative actions, and that leads to negative causes, and then this creates a sort of feedback loop into itself. And that's why when you're sliding down, it's very hard to stop. And then when you're pushing up, it's like you build this momentum and it's easy to keep going. So what this means is that is how the rhythm of life works. It's cause and effect, and it is also your thermostat for your standards, right? So a couple of ways we can change this if we experience this, if we're not happy with these swings, we're sick of them, we want to change, is first of all, we can change our low point, right? We can make it higher. So we can say, okay, I want this point, instead of being like really bad, I'll make it higher. And also we can change our high point. So instead of, when we get up to the top, instead of being happy, we set a new level. So the low point is no longer acceptable, and the high point is no longer the high point. So it's not that the low point was acceptable, but it's like you're not willing to go back down there again. So that's one way you can change it. And the other way is when you get up here to the high point, instead of thinking different thoughts, you just think to yourself, because now you're conscious, like the main point is to just be aware of this happening. So now you're conscious and you say, okay, I'm not going to think the thoughts I would think that would lead me to go down. What were the thoughts I was thinking here? And then you can think those thoughts now. So the key really is to map this out in your life. So to map out, with maybe money or health, what is this point at the top and what is this point at the bottom? How do I think as I'm going up? How do I think as I'm going down? And then to eliminate the thoughts when you go down and change your level so you're not happy with the high point anymore. You want to keep going higher. And or if you're happy with the high point, just don't think these thoughts and only think thoughts that led you to get up there. Because if you think those kind of thoughts and you keep being productive, you'll stay up there. You might not necessarily push to the next level. So those are the ways you can use this law to radically improve your life. This is a little bit of a shorter video, but I wanted to give you something really practical based on the law of rhythm. And also to understand a little bit this law, how it's affecting everything around you. It is like a fundamental part of reality, from frequencies, sound waves, all kind of light waves, to, just the wave pattern is like a fundamental part of the universe. And the wave pattern also is a fundamental part of our existences as humans. So that is something really powerful you can use. So if you're ever like just wondering, why the hell do I just destroy my life every couple of months? This is why. And if you want it to stop, this is how. So hope you enjoyed that video. As I said, a bit of a quicker one today. If you did enjoy it, give it a like and thumbs up. Consider subscribing. And if you want to speak to me one-on-one and work with me, I've got a link below. So have a great day. See you next time. Bye.